Hello and welcome to this first lecture in this new section on managing students' performance. In this course on campus placements and corporate relations excellence. So in this section, we're going to give you an in-depth understanding of how can you manage the students' performance. Having looked at how to manage the performance of the preparation and placement team, we will look at the final part of the work of managing students' performance. And in this lecture, we will particularly take a look at what are the common issues in making the students perform, right? Right. So what do you think? How can you make the students perform? Any thoughts on that before we come to looking at the common causes? Right? So let's understand the common issues in making them perform. So what are they? What do you think are the common issues, common causes that withhold the students to give their best when they go for their interviews in the campus or their group discussions or case studies or written tests, whatever the process of the recruiter is, what withholds the student from doing their best? Any thoughts? Right. Let's take a look at them. So, the broadly speaking, there are two things that withhold the students from giving their best in their selection process with the recruiter. One is the lack of interest in the recruiter or in the roles that they are offering. And this is reflected either in students not applying for these recruiters and role, and if they're forced to apply, they sit through the motions of the selection process, and if they're even very intelligent, which many of them are, they duck or tank the process. They perform purposely badly to get out of the process. Now, so that's one thing that causes the students to underperform. Now, second category of students are those who are interested in the roles and the recruiters, but they don't have the required knowledge, skills, and attitude. Any combination of them. It could be certain attitudes, it could be knowledge, skills, or it could be a combination of all the three or any two, right? So they lack the resource, and as a result of that, they try their best in the interview. You can see that they want to get that job, get that role with that recruiter, but they are not able to meet the expectations of the recruiter, and hence they don't crack the process. And that results in students underperforming. So these are the two broad category of issues that we have. So let's look at what leads to lack of interest in recruiters and roles, and that will help us come to some some prescriptions, so as to say, some solutions to this problem, right? So what do you think? What lacks to what leads to lack of interest in the recruiters or roles from the student side? Any thoughts on that? There are two broad things again. One is mismatch of the expectations, right? Now, students' expectation is that we'll be able to get, say, data scientist roles in the campus, right? And you are not able to get that, and they want to make a career in data scientist. And as a result, they keep waiting for the data scientist role to come, and they don't apply in any of the roles. And if there is a mismatch in expectations of the students and the companies that the placement team is working on, these data scientist roles never come to the campus, and as a result, these students have lack of interest in all the recruiters or roles that are coming to the campus. So that's one reason. Second thing is lack of clarity. Now, they're not very clear about the what exactly the data scientists mean. They think it is to do with doing experiments in the lab with the data, and when they see when they hear about the role of the company, it talks something else, and then that leads to their lack of interest again in that role or in that recruiter. So these are the two main things. Now, in terms of mismatch in expectation, it could happen in terms of their CTC that they're expecting from the company. It could happen in the kind of work that they would do, and it could happen in the kind of company. Like, is it a multinational? Is it an Indian company, etc., etc. And similar kind of things can happen on lack of role clarity. So, what about the lack of required KAS? What causes this lack on the part of students on the required knowledge, attitudes, and skills? Any thoughts? There again, we have broadly put in two things. One is lack of efforts. Some students don't even put the required efforts. They attend the sessions, they don't even attend many times. And if they attend, they just go through the motions of attending, and they don't put in the efforts required to get to build their capabilities, knowledge, and skills in the areas that are required by the recruiters. Now, this could happen for a variety of reasons, and we will see that as we go forward. And then it could be that these students lack the inherent absorption capability of the things that you're talking about. Now, if a job requires leadership skills, not everyone has the beginning or seeds of being a good leader, right? And if couple of students or few students, a lot of students do not have that kind of inherent capability, they would never have the leadership skills in them, and hence they would not have that KAS required. So it's basically a lack of absorption capability, right? So these are the two main reasons. Now, so the question is how to overcome these issues to make the students perform, because ultimately our interest is to make sure that the students perform and they take advantage of the recruiters that are coming to campus, they take benefit of the preparations that you are organizing and perform and get the roles and do well for themselves and for the campus. So how to overcome these issues, and that's what we will talk about in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on managing students' performance. I hope you continue to learn new things, continue to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. And if you have any questions, do feel free to message me and I'll be happy to answer them.